What's up, everybody? I just wanted to give a quick overview, just a short one, about the conference that Fiorella and myself spoke at this year called Better Discourse 2, which was dope. Just give me 1 second and we are going to, I'm just waiting for Rockfin to go live. Hope everybody's doing well. Really? One second. Just had to refresh the page, excuse me. As you can hear, my voice is gone. I talked a lot this weekend. It's kind of hurts to talk right now, but all right, so we're good. We're live right now. We're live right now on Rockfin and on YouTube. Once again, I hope everybody is doing well. I wanted to give a really quick overview of the Better Discourse 2 conference that we had that was hosted by Myth Informed. Now, Myth Informed in Milwaukee is an atheist group made up of leftists, libertarians, and conservatives who try and kind of siphon through all of the nonsense and the propaganda and the belief systems perpetuated by the duopoly by bringing different voices and opposing views together. And so Better Discourse Conference was something that they had started, I think last year was the first Better Discourse specifically conference. And of course, you know, I'm not even an atheist. Obviously, a lot of the conservatives there aren't atheists. You know, some of the leftists there may be atheists, but, you know, they got a lot of conservatives there and a lot of leftists don't like talking conservatives. Like I said, there's a lot of different views, even though this particular group that started this conference may be atheists. You know, it's awesome to see how accepting and willing they are to just, one, bring so many voices together, but two, it's not like they just do it for clout or anything like that. They talk to all of us. They treat all of us with the same respect. You know, they give all of us our fair shot. They don't show any favoritism to any one side over the other when we're having these discussions. And as you'll see, whenever I do put my panel up, which is on wealth inequality, you'll see they gave me plenty of time to speak. They gave Fiorella plenty of time to speak on her climate change policy, and it was just dope. It was dope overall. And so the experience that I had there was once again one of those, man, it was one, I'm sure you all who watch Jimmy Dore, he always says it's talking behind camera can be draining for a plethora of reasons, but it is. But when you get to talk in front of a crowd, when you get to actually engage people, it's exhilarating. It gives you energy. And in half the weekend, because I just had a long week prior to that, I was exhausted until, you know, it was time to talk to people, time to talk to supporters, time to talk to the audience, time to do my panel, et cetera, because you do get that kind of energy. So that part is dope. And it was great to be like in front of a crowd once again. And also I think it was great to just meet people in person again. All people, right? Once again, this is a conference of made up of every side of the political spectrum, even anarcho-communists, seriously. And when you get a group of us together, when we agree on the problems, at least the majority of the problems, you know, you've come to find out that, oh, actually a lot of our disagreements only really come with the solutions to those problems for the most part. You know, there are rare exceptions even in these circles. And once you realize that, it makes it much, much easier to have quote unquote discourse. Fun fact about my panel, and once again, I'm not gonna get too much into it, but we actually met the day before. And we met because one of the panelists actually looked at my content because she was, you know, probably doing some opposition research because Lisa is a smart person. So she did her opposition research, which, by the way, may I say that even though she was on the opposing side, I appreciate that respect because, once again, the leftists who debate, quote unquote leftists, neoliberals who debate me, don't even give me that respect, which is why they show up to the party and get dragged out. if you catch my drift. So just the fact that she gave me that respect and looked me up was a nice change of pace. I'm like, okay, cool. So we about to have a good time. But she found me and she was like, hey, what's up? My name's Lisa. I'm on the panel. I'm a conservative, and like immediately asked me where's Fiorella at. And I was like, how do you know Fiorella? And I found out that she found Fiorella when she was looking me up, fell in love with Fiorella. She was like, I love her so much, even though I disagree with her on so much. But she's just like, but she's honest. And so she advocated within a 24 to 48 hour period to the Myth Informed team, hey, you got to get this girl. She's amazing. I know she's a leftist, but look, like she's great. And because of that, Fiorella was actually invited last minute, and she flew out on one morning from LA, and then left the next day. But because it was super last minute. So it was because a conservative woman showed solidarity with another woman, and there was that mutual respect for being bold and unapologetic in your stances and your advocacy, even if you do go against the grain as women. Like that solidarity led to Fiorella ending up on the Green New Deal panel and the climate change panel and literally lighting that bitch on fire. Opening statement. Two of my good friends, a couple that I met last year, they're like libertarian leaning. They loved my panel last year, and we've had some pretty exhilarating conversations, and it kind of changed their perspective on a lot of things. And whenever they were about to get up, they were going to get up and go do something. I think they're going to go to the bar and drink and hang out. People don't enjoy every single panel, right? Whatever. So I'm like, oh, I was like, guys, hold up, hey. Remember how you like me and you like how I talk and my style, my delivery, et cetera, et cetera? Yeah. I was like, well, hold up really quick. Don't go anywhere. You need to watch her. I don't know what they think about the Green New Deal. I'm like, but you need to watch her specifically. She's with us. And they were like, okay, cool. Not even 1/4 of the way through the panel, as the husband was getting up to walk outside really quick, he had tapped me on the shoulder. And he was like, you were right. She's amazing. Because she is. And they got to hear a more nuanced view from a leftist perspective, criticizing the Green New Deal, talking about the Off Fossil Fuels Act, discussing the Fourth Industrial Revolution and how a real problem will be co-opted by really bad people, and how we have to be mindful of both. And we can be mindful of both while we're having these discussions, and that we should not let people gaslight us or corner us or pigeonhole us into these Hegelian conversations of A and B, or these binary conversations of it's either or. It's either you love the Green New Deal and you believe in climate change, or you hate the Green New Deal and you don't. And once again, it's because of a conservative advocate, finding Fee online, not judging her intentions, not presupposing where she's coming from, but looking at her character and showing solidarity to fight for a leftist to have her voice heard and introduce a different perspective. That's amazing. That's what we do this for. So that's how I actually met Lisa, through our conversations about how she looked us up and, invited Fee. So that night, we actually had such a great time. We talked to each other. We realized we had so many disagreements that we actually said, hey, like we were laughing and but we were joking, but kind of serious, because, there's still a level of entertainment that you have to have. And, everybody didn't just come to see us agree on everything. So we're like, hey, like we're going to have to argue on stage. Like we're going to just say random stuff, even if, we disagree, cause we, like I said, we both had our conversations the night, all of us, except for Will, cause I don't think Will was there the night before. But we all had our conversation, me, Savannah, and Lisa, the night before. We were like, oh man, I didn't think about that. That's actually good. So some of the stuff that was said on stage, at least from their perspective, wasn't actually exactly how they felt. They were being kind of somewhat combative on purpose with me, because we were such good friends. There was like this fear at that point, because when I tell you, like, literally it was just us three all night, and everybody was like just hanging out with us, like we were turning up, and like, so we didn't want people to, oh man, they're such good friends, it's going to be kind of boring now. And we were like one of the headliners. It was our panel, and then Pozobic, Destiny. No, excuse me, it wasn't Destiny. It's Pozobic. Who was the other guy? I can't remember who was on Pozobic. Oh, it's Pozobic, another conservative who was crazy. It made Jack look like a damn leftist. A liberal, but it was mostly about Jack and the other conservative guy who actually ended up disagreeing with each other 90% of the time, which is what I'm going to also get into. So I'm going to post my panel tomorrow or later on this evening. It depends on how I feel. I'm trying to figure out if I want to do the clips first or the panel, or the panel first and then the clips. But the reason I asked that, I want y'all's suggestion, comment in the comment section below. Do y'all want me to post the panel overall, post the clips, but also do commentary and discuss what was being talked about on the panel and like dissect the different issues? If you would like a commentary and analysis of my panel and the stances that were taken there, please comment and let me know. But really quick, the other thing I want to talk about is Jack Pozobic, my friend and a colleague, the conservative that I oftentimes get attacked for being friends with. And, you know, obviously he gets attacked for being friends with me because I'm a dirty, rotten, quote unquote, Trump hating leftist. You know, he's anti-police. Why you be friends with him? Et cetera, right? So Jack and I talk often, actually. We have disagreements where we have disagreements. We're respectful. We realize that we have a lot of agreements where we may not have originally thought we had disagreements. We educate each other on issues that we otherwise may not be educated on. And the most important thing is that, like, when I'm crafting leftist arguments, he helps me understand where conservatives may misunderstand or just cannot relate to the argument in the way I present it. And therefore, it gives me an opportunity to craft the leftist argument in a way that a conservative would appreciate it, and vice versa. So Jack goes on his panel. Like I said, it was, I think, him. I want to say it was him, two other conservatives, but him and one of the conservatives for the most part. Oh, what's his name? I keep forgetting the guy's name, but I want to say his name is John or something like that. But he's a popular guy. Like, he's a very popular guy, and a leftist on the panel. By the end of Jack's panel, Fiorella, which I'm sure she wouldn't mind me saying, had to come downstairs and say, Niko, what's wrong about Jack? You know, I obviously not agree with all of his stances. That's not what that means. But literally, Jack sounded like the most quote unquote leftist person on the channel, on that panel. He was going after duopoly. When the other conservative would make an attempt to gaslight in some type of way, he would call him out on it. He held Trump accountable, obviously Biden accountable too. Whenever the other guy tried to call AOC violent, like, that's what he said, he was like, no. AOC is not violent. She's never asked for violence. She's never advocated for violence. Obviously, y'all know Jack doesn't like AOC. He was like, now Maxine Waters, that's a whole different conversation, because that's literally what she's advocated for. But if we're going to criticize people, we have to do it. If we're going to criticize people, the left or anybody, we have to do it in the right way. He went on to preach a message of unity and understanding. He went on to talk about, you know, he criticized the intelligence community. And like I said, he even criticized Trump. Now, I would say that the audience felt that my panel and Jack's panel, two separate panels back to back, were probably the most entertaining for various reasons. But on both of the panels, I do know that the audience primarily agreed with both myself, a leftist, and Jack, the conservative. You know what we call that? We call that progress. Do you know how that progress is created? Because me and Jack were never afraid to talk to each other. That's it. That's all it took. Being willing to listen to each other and understand that there's some things that are much more important in politics. And when you become friends with somebody without an agenda, then when you're talking about politics, you have a certain level of trust where you're more open to new ideas because you're not worried about the fact that somebody may be trying to just implant an idea in your head for their personal political agenda. And so I was proud of him. And I told him that. You know, he showed love too, as usual. And we went on later on that day, and we all had that night had a great ass time again. And as y'all saw, I don't know if some of you watched it, you know, me and Lisa going back and forth. And I know people probably think that we're like, we hate each other. And like, I'm like, hold up really quick. Cause I saw people like, kind of like getting hype off of what appeared to be like some type of disdain between me and Lisa. And that was not the case at all. And as I put my mic down, I'm like, hold up, come here. And I gave her a hug on stage. Cause that's what it's about, yo. That's what it's about. So I gotta get up out of here. Like this video. Like I said, comment. Let me know if you want me to post the panel itself and then post another like analytical video where we go live and we actually watch the panel together. We break it down. Comment in the comment section below. Make sure to like this video. Make sure to share this video and make sure to subscribe. But always remember more than anything else,